Sam Billings, there is a red ball player who is eager to leave in a short time. It is not just the 500-mile drive that he embarked upon, from the Gold Coast down to Sydney, before flying on to Tasmania, that makes Sam Billings' journey towards a Test debut this week a highly unlikely one. Selection for England's Test team is a fork in his career path that he could not have foreseen, having become a dedicated white ball specialist. Yes, he has been in decent nick for Sydney Thunder in the Big Bash League in recent weeks, but in Hobart he will be keeping wicket for 5 days and facing Australia's potent pace attack, a different challenge altogether. None of England's players enjoyed the preparation they would have wanted for this series, but Billings, in the past 2 years, he has batted only 6 times in first-class cricket. His scores for Kent last season were 11, 11, 18, 72, and 36, and if that suggests the hint of an upward trend, not even Billings' friends and family could claim it makes his case for a Test call-up, which has come about merely through the freakish circumstances of him being in Australia and the injuries to Jos Buttler and Johnny Bairstow. Billings and England will be hoping for the best in Hobart. The road that diverted Billings, 30, towards white ball specialism says much about the way the English game has gone in recent years. After the World Cup debacle in 2015, which exposed a lack of commitment to the white ball game, English cricket swung drastically in the opposite direction. That lurch resulted in the World Cup win in 2019, but the failure to maintain a balance between formats has been laid bare in this miserably one-sided Ashes series, resulting in heartfelt calls for a red ball reset from senior England players. Billings, too, found himself being drawn ever further away from the longer game, partly through choice, partly through circumstance. Early in his career, he had begun to develop himself as a capable multi-format player, establishing himself in Kent's first team in 2014, a summer in which he played all 16 county championship matches, averaging a steady but encouraging 34. But that was also the summer in which he made a splash in the white ball game, notably in hitting a spectacular 135 not out from 58 balls in a 50-over match against Somerset. His clean hitting and inventive stroke play marked him out as one of the new breed of exciting batsmen that England had hitherto struggled to produce. He was incredible in 50-over cricket that summer, and very quickly he found himself catapulted into the white ball world, Matt Walker, the Kent head coach, said. He caught the eye of England, he caught the eye of various T20 franchises, and from there his life became very much about white ball cricket. He made his England debut the following year, then played in the Indian Premier League for Delhi Daredevils for the first time in 2016, followed by stints in the Pakistan Super League and the Big Bash. Over the course of the 2014 and 2015 seasons he had played 29 first-class matches. Over the following 5 English summers, he would play only 29 more, his batting becoming ever tailored towards the shorter game against a white ball that does not deviate anywhere near as much as the red. Trying to find that balance in his game has become difficult, Walker said. He's hugely talented, but you find a way to play that works, and for Sam that meant a method that worked against a white ball, which didn't necessarily help him in first-class cricket. Along the way, Billings was becoming a regular in England's limited overs squads, without ever being a first-choice pick. He also found himself a bit-part player at times with his IPL franchises, meaning he has played for a lot of teams, without necessarily playing a lot of cricket. At times, he's just found himself not playing enough, Walker said. He knows that, and it's frustrated him. You don't want him to look back on his career and think, I didn't actually play that much cricket. Look at the recent World's T20. He finally got a chance in the semi-final and didn't get a bat. That's been the story of his life. There was a period in 2019 when Billings recognized how far his red ball game had drifted and worked to remedy his technique against the moving ball, straightening his backswing and stiffening his defense. He played only 4 first-class matches that season and made centuries in 3 of them. Billings, it seemed, had experienced a red ball reset. He worked really hard on the fundamentals of his game then and saw the results, and I think then he really got the belief that he could play the longer game, Walker added. He then pulled out of the IPL in 2020 and was going to start the season with us, but COVID hit and then he was away on white ball duties again. He has also been captain of Kent and has made a strong impression as a leader. He is regarded by some, including Walker, as a potential captain of England's white ball teams once Owen Morgan retired. He's a bright spark, a positive influence and a fighter, Walker said. He hasn't quite found his role in those teams, but the next phase will be interesting, depending on what Morgs does. If Sam can establish himself in that team, I can see a future England captain there. One of the features of England's decline as a Test team has been the repeated attempts to turn white ball specialists into Test players. Think Alex Hales, Jason Roy, and now Buttler looks as though he may have fallen short. Billings now has an unexpected opportunity to buck that trend. There is no expectation on him and, to use an appropriately white ball term, he has something of a free hit. I always felt there was a longer format cricketer in him, potentially a Test player, Walker said, he's got the temperament, he's massively talented, and he's adaptable, but he was always being drawn back to that white ball world. But he's only just 30, he's still got time maybe to go again as more of a red ball cricketer. He's got a great chance this week, and if he comes off, it could change everything.